Hi students, Miss Cave here. I'm just going to be going over a couple of the pages from the math packet for this week. So this week in the mail, you're going to get two packets, a week 3 and a week 4. Um, and so I'm going to go over the week 3 pages today, and then next week I'll go over the week 4 pages. So don't freak out when you get to this video and you see, oh, I didn't do everything. It's because we'll do next week's next week. So this is going to be what I'm going to go over today. This is page 56 of the packet. And so it is doing writing powers of tens as exponents. So let's take a look at a couple of these problems here. So if you look at an exponent, what you're going to want to look at is this little, let me get this pulled up correctly, the number of zeros in the number. So for this one right here, we have the number 100, and so there's 2 zeros, so that's going to mean it's at the power of 2. So over here, if you look, in 10,000, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So you're going to write 10 and the power of 4. And what we're saying here is that we're multiplying 10 4 times. So that would be 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 if we wrote that out in standard form. Or in expanded form, sorry. And then the next one in 1,000, there is 3 zeros. So that's going to be 10 to the power of 3, which would be the same as saying 10 times 10 times 10. And this part here, the 10 times 10 times, you don't have to write that out. All you have to do is write the exponent. So now if we look at, we have 10 times 10. So because there's two 10s there, that's going to be 10 to the power of 2. Okay? And then if you go down to the bottom of the page here, it says write the following in standard form. So 5 times 10 to the second power is 500. So what you're going to do here is you're writing this number here, the 9, and then you're going to write however much the power is, that's how many zeros you have after your 9. So 1, 2, 3. So this is the same as saying 9 times 10 times 10 times 10, which if we multiply, every time we multiply by 10, we add a 0. So 9 times 10 is 90, times 10 is 900, times 10 is 9,000. All right, and the same thing with 39. 10 to the fourth power, so you're going to have 4 zeros. And that is 390,000. So that's it for that page. You guys can do the rest on your own. I did a few examples there. You should be able to do the rest. On the bottom here, and this is going to be page 57 of your packet, it wants us to complete the patterns. So we're going to look at, we've got 3 hundredths, then 3 thousandths, or I'm sorry, 3 hundredths, then 3 tenths. So we're going to be taking each of these times 10, because if we go from 3 hundredths times 10 gives us 3 tenths. If we take 3 tenths 10 times, that's going to give us 3. 3 times 10 is 30. 30 times 10 would be 300. 300 times 10 would be 3,000. Here, you're going the opposite way. You're going to divide because the numbers are getting smaller. So if they're getting bigger, we're multiplying. If they're getting smaller, we're dividing. So 6,500,000 divided by 10, you would take away a 0. So this is actually going to be divided by 100 because we're taking away 2 zeros to leave those 3. So that means we're dividing by 100 if we're taking 2 zeros away. So 65,000 divided by 100 is going to be 650. 650 divided by 100, we're going to pretend there's a decimal here, pull it over 2 place values because we have 2 zeros, and that's going to be 6 5 tenths. Now if we divide that by 100, we have to move this decimal over 2 place values and add zeros in. So that's going to be 0.065 hundredths. And I think that you can probably do the rest of those. I do want to go back up here real quick. And go back over something that I saw because I realized there are some division ones here and I don't want that to get us hung up. So let's go over this division real quick. So right down here we've got oh, I keep accidentally making marks on my page. We've got 7,200 divided by 10 to the second power. So this is the same as saying 7,200 divided by 100 because 10 to the second power is 10 times 10, which is 100. So what you're going to do here is you can literally go through and divide it by 100, but an easier trick for this is seeing that we're going to have to the power of 2, so we're going to knock off 2 zeros from here since there's 2 zeros there. So that's just going to leave 72. And a good way to check that is say, well, if I multiply 72 times 100, am I going to get 7,200? And yes, you would, because you would add your 2 zeros back on. With D here, 7,200,000 divided by 10 to the third, if there's the power of 3, then we're removing 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, which would leave 7,200. Now over here you get into decimals, which gets a little bit more confusing. But what you're going to do is the exponent here tells us how many place values we're moving our decimal back or forth. If we are multiplying, like in F here, this decimal is going to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay? So you have 40.25, and we're going to move this decimal over 4 place values. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Put your decimal here, and we have to put zeros in here. So this is going to become 402,500. Then our decimal. So that is 402,500. The same with this top one. It's 10 to the power of 3, so we're going to move this decimal 3 place values backwards. So when you're multiplying, you want your number to get bigger. So we're going to move the decimal back so that our number gets bigger. So 1, 2, 3 would put it behind the 5, so it's going to be 4,025. Now when we're dividing, like on G here, we're going to be moving this decimal forward so that the number gets smaller. So I'm going to erase this and do this real quick so that I can show you guys. So we have 10 to the power of 2 here. So we're going to move this decimal forward 2 times, 1, 2, and that's going to give us 725,000. Okay? If you have any questions, just reach out to me on Teams and I will try to answer them for you. But that is your math lesson for this week.